Storytelling has been part of the human experience since the beginning. Storytelling has become part of our fiber, part of our dreams, accomplishments, and joys, but also part of our struggles, failure, and sorrow. Storytelling has made us who we are. Through the centuries, one generation has told and left stories behind for the upcoming generations. From prehistoric, ancient, and biblical times, we have records of peoples and cultures and civilizations through the stories they've told and left behind. Jesus preferred to relay messages through parables, using stories to illustrate certain truths. Storytelling is so much more than fiction, fantasy, and fable. Every day we tell stories. We tell stories to ourselves. Who am I? What is my purpose? We tell stories to our spouses, our children, our friends, family, to our employer and employees. We tell stories to our clients, to our readers, our community, and to the world. And yes, also to the panhandler at the traffic light. Storytelling, works of art, has at its heart the depiction of real life in all its beauty and sorrow. Without storytelling, we will have no records of history, of our past. Without storytelling, we will be ignorant and indifferent, and our future will be uncertain. Everybody has a story, a personal narrative. Every single person has a story to tell. You have. I have. And with story, I'm not referring to a sordid past or skeletons in the closet. The life we live right now is our story. The life we have lived up to today is part of that story. Our past has shaped and scarred and molded us, but there's a clear distinction we have to make. Our past does not define us. Past failures and traumas do not dictate our future. It does not matter whether we are a teenager, single, married, divorced, in a relationship, middle-aged or old. What matters is that we live each day with the knowledge that we were fearfully and wonderfully made, that we have worth and that we have a purpose. Each one of us has unique gifts, abilities, and insights that no one else on earth has. Age and gender and race and language and culture does not define our value as a person or determine our character. Out of the 7.5 billion people on earth, there is no one like you. You are no accident. You have endless potential and you have a unique story to tell. Many of us suffer from loneliness. We are lonely in spite of being physically surrounded by people and being connected 24/7 on social media and on our devices. We isolate ourselves, not knowing how to escape the cocoon. By learning to tell our story, learning to write it down, we can break the cycle of loneliness, of feeling of unworthy or a failure. Sharing our work, as intimidating as it may sound, can be liberating and help break open the self-constructed cage we live in. We tell stories as part of our inherent nature and our need to create art. Through our art, through our writing, and telling our stories, we find meaning and give meaning and find fulfillment. Storytelling is powerful. It changes lives. It transports, transforms, and heals us. You can learn to tell a story. You can learn to tell your story. You can learn to tell stronger and more powerful stories. You can also learn to tell stories to find healing and meaning. You can learn to tell stories for fun and enjoyment and to make a living. An aspect of storytelling that is often overlooked and underappreciated is its healing power. During our lifetime, we all experience struggle, pain, and suffering. Some of us more than others. Some of us are exposed to life-altering trauma, to abuse, to chronic illness, often leaving us scarred, hurting, and suffering. This can lead to despair. We can have difficulty forgiving ourselves. We cling to the past or to our present predicament and remain trapped in a cycle of negative self-talk, guilt, and feelings of unworthiness. Storytelling, in its broadest sense, focused reading, expressive writing, and creative art, can all be harnessed as tools to help us, empower us to grow and heal and reach our full potential. These are not quick fixes, but are instruments to enable us to grow from victim to survivor and victor. Not to downplay the art and mastery of storytelling. Telling stories is not only for the lucky few, for the famous, for the gifted, for the affluent, or for born storytellers. It is a myth that only special people can tell stories. Storytelling is for ordinary people, by ordinary people. Storytelling is for you and me. Storytelling can be learned. You don't need to be a professional writer to write your own story. You don't need to be a trained artist to draw and paint and discover new ways to express yourself and tell your story. Granted, as in the case with any form of art and creativity, there's a wide spectrum of quality ranging from novice to master. Creating quality art is a gift, the product of applying oneself, the result of hard work and refusal to give up. With effort, grit and dedication and learning from seasoned storytellers and artists, you and I can learn to become competent. Responsibility rests on our shoulders as we learn and master the craft to create quality art and stories, not to sacrifice quality for quantity, not to settle for mediocrity, and especially as we learn to make a living from our art and storytelling, to always do so in humility, in a moral and ethical way. Another misconception about storytelling is that it is limited to the spoken and printed word. That's only part of the picture. Storytelling includes any possible medium and format. Powerful stories are also told through visual art, through sound, song and dance, through music, through film and photography, and the performing arts, and any combination of the above. We tell stories to entertain and enchant, to inform, inspire and challenge, to heal and grow and find meaning, but it's also used to indoctrinate and to instill fear, to bully and to terrorize. We also tell stories to tell our history and to build bridges between people and cross divides. We can also learn how to get paid by telling our stories and making our art. And by getting paid, we can learn to do better art and write more and impact and influence more people. The Tell Your Story, Change a Life course has been divided into 3 modules with degrees of overlap. Module 1, Tell a First-Time Story, teaches the basics of telling a story. Module 2, Tell a Stronger Story, teaches how to take your storytelling skills to the next level. And Module 3, Tell a Brand New Story, is about using writing and creative art to help us find healing and meaning. Good storytelling, outstanding writing, and quality art is hard work. It requires considered effort. It demands dedication, but don't lose heart. There are tools that we can learn to use. It's about realizing we have a story to tell, unique stories that only we can tell in our distinct way. We can choose to believe the myth that there's nothing we can do about our present situation. We can continue living a mediocre life, an average life. We can live a life of compromise, of complaining and blaming. We can continue living as a victim. We can live our bland lives, stilting our dreams, never pushing ourselves, never venturing outside our comfort zone. Or we can take responsibility for our situation, decide to change. Not for a moment does such a change in mindset nullify the significance of the big and painful things in our lives. The loss of a loved one, loss of employment, abuse, serious injury, or chronic illness. No, it's about how we choose to respond to it. If we were hurt and traumatized, when we cling to resentment, unable to grant forgiveness, unable to process it and to move on, we remain the prisoner, giving power to the other party or to the situation over us. We remain trapped, and inside we slowly die. We all experience pain, suffering, and struggle. Some of us more than others. It's a part of life. The difference and choice lie in our response. We choose what power it will have over us. There's a place for medication and psychotherapy. We can also learn effective coping strategies. Learning to tell our stories and to write it down is one such strategy. We give validation to what has happened, but from a position of hope, from a position of strength. Look in the mirror. That person will determine what is going to happen. That person can help you change your life by starting to tell your story. I'm not downplaying the role of faith in our lives, but faith without action is of little use. You have to make the decision. You can change your life. You can live an above average life. Start by learning to tell a different story about yourself, about your life, about your loved ones, about your world, and about your future. Start believing a different story about yourself. Imagine finally writing and finishing that book. Imagine writing stronger and more powerful prose. Imagine learning to forgive yourself and start on a path toward healing. Imagine how this can change your life, the lives of others, and possibly change the world. Believe in yourself. Believe you can do this. I believe in God, but I also believe we have a God-given talent and abilities to help us find healing and wholeness. I also believe we have the responsibility to take action. This course is not a quick fix or an attempt to brainwash or trick you. Only you can bring about the change in your life needed and tell your story. This course will not make you happy overnight or turn you into a millionaire or make you world famous. But you may be surprised in finding more peace, find fresh perspective, and discovering joy by telling your stories. You will have to do the work, the writing. You will have to do the practice and become intentional. Rest assured, you are not alone. Many others have similar dreams and doubts and face similar challenges and fears. I will act as a guide. I will show you how to learn to tell your story. I'm convinced that by completing the course, you will change how you see yourself and your place in the world, and change your ideas about storytelling and creativity and its importance in our lives. Whether you just want to write your first book, or write stronger and more powerful prose, or recover from hurts and get your life back, or overcome hang-ups, this course can open that door for you. Expect change, expect growth, expect to set out and write a new story to your life. When we show up, do the work, combine the power of honest storytelling, writing and art, an amazing thing happens. We change. We grow and mature and find deeper understanding and meaning. You will discover you have a story to tell. Your stories matter. You will discover telling a story changes a life. It can change your life. It can change the life of others. It can change the world. Are you ready to tell your story? You can start today.